Hi there. I want to talk about imposter syndrome today. So, imposter syndrome, it's a very common thing. A lot of people feel it, and I feel like a lot of my clients or even people on the internet, like there's a lot of people who feel like they are an imposter, but let's talk about it. So, imposter, normally it's that feeling when people have accomplished something, when they have, education and they have done things, and then they think, oh my god, this was all just a fluke and I'm a fraud, and just any minute everybody's going to find out and kind of everything will just fall apart because it's all not true. And what is underneath that? What is underneath that thought, I am a fraud? Well, and the most important thing, what do we do about it, right? So, I'm a fraud. Is it even true that you're a fraud? I am a fraud, like, is it true? Well, if there can be two things. If you making yourself smaller or bigger than you are, then you're not being completely honest. So, for example, I'm a coach, right? I'm a coach. I have been coaching for 3.5 years. I have certification. I'm trained coach. I have exam. So, but if I start pretending that, I have 20 years of experience, then of course I'm a fraud. But if I'm brutally honest about me, then it's automatically becoming not a fraud because I'm honest. And if somebody perceives me, however they perceive me, it's not on me. But I know inside myself that I'm saying the truth. Therefore, the thought that I'm a fraud is simply a bunch of crap. Right? So this is a trick or step number one to combat the imposter syndrome. Be honest with yourself. Never mind everybody, of course, be honest with people, but be honest with your own self. If I'm honest, then, much better. Everything gets much better. Then I was thinking about situations when I felt like, not very good, like an imposter. And then I realized that I might not have been feeling equal or making myself feeling equal. And it's not to other people. Yes, there is a lot of inequality happening in the world. Absolutely. And important to remember that we come with equality in our heart. So that means I am just another human being. And this is an idea I got from the Dalai Lama. He always says, I am just another human being and there's other 7-8 billion people out here. And we're all the same. We're all going to die one day. We all have been born. And it's all in a very human way. He actually tells stories about himself, how he sometimes imagines, like in formal situations when people are all uptight, he says optitoity, he makes me laugh, and then he starts to imagine like, if this fruit bowl just falls, then all these people will go on their hands and knees and pick the fruit, and they'll just behave like normal humans. So we're all normal humans. And I like to think, okay, even the kings and queens poop. Everybody needs to sleep, to eat, we're all kind of the same. And all our social statuses and divisions, they're artificial. We created them as human beings, but they're not real. In nature, in the scale of the universal consciousness or even the universe, we are all just human beings. So equality, if you walk into the room and you think we're just all human beings here, you probably will feel automatically much better. At least I do. And there's one more thing, and if you still feeling if you went through honesty and equality and you still feel uneasy, there might be one more thing. And the thing is, and that's a sneaky one, the thought or variation of a thought is, I don't belong here. For some reason, at some point, you decided that you don't belong. And it's probably a residue from your past, from maybe your childhood, from where you felt excluded. It's that traumatized part of you is speaking and being afraid. So there's lots of ways of working with that thought. I did a lot of things with it, but I found the most effective Byron Katie's work, and I can quickly go through it with you right here. So I was somewhere in a store, and I suddenly felt like some weird sensations, and I was in line to just see the cashier. And I felt this big wave of unease, and it was just like, what is going on? And I took a pause. And I thought, what is it? And then it surfaced for me. I don't belong here. And so the first question in Byron Katie's work is it true? And I automatically couldn't even say, is it true? Well, part of me says it's true, part of me says no. And then the second question is, can you be absolutely 100% sure that it's true? And then my answer was no. And question number 3 is, how do you feel when you believe that thought? So, and I started to think, well, I feel small, I feel anxious, I feel unease, I feel physical sensations in my body. Usually it manifests in my throat and chest. So there's lots going on, and automatically I feel, I project on other people. I projected on the sales associates there that they're being not quite as friendly to me, even though it's all came from me. So, okay, I have this observation. And then the next question number 4 is, who would you be without that thought? And when I dropped into that space, I suddenly felt this relaxation and expansion and ease. And the people around me weren't unfriendly anymore. And even if they were, it was nothing to do with me. It was something to do with their own world, because we all live in our little illusions, really. And we sometimes often take other people's actions, reactions personally, and 99.99% of the time it's nothing, maybe even 100, nothing to do with us. It's their own world. And then there are turnarounds, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but the turnaround for I don't belong here, the first one is I belong here. And the evidence for that, well, I'm already here, so I belong. And when I thought that, everything kind of clicked into place. Everything became okay. So try this. Try deconstructing your imposter syndrome. Try to see what is underneath your imposter syndrome, and try to apply honesty, equality of all beings, and I belong here. And this sense of belonging, you automatically belong to places where you want to belong. I want to say this again. It's very, very important thing to understand and embody. You belong where you want to belong, just because you want to. And even if others reject you, and I'm sure you don't want to belong. I don't want to belong to every single group out there. Like, I don't want to belong to a cult, for example. Or there are many places I don't care to belong to, but where I want to belong, I already belong. Sometimes it's just a choice. Sometimes it's just a shift. And you can find evidence for that. If you set your filters in your head to look in a little bit different angle, you'll be able to find evidence. So again, apply this to your life. Comment below, talk to me. I would love to hear from you and your experience with imposter syndrome and how do you cope with it. And yeah, if you like this, subscribe and like and spread the word and help me grow this channel, and I will try to make more videos. And again, my name is Nataliya. I'm a coach, and I love deconstructing our regular day-to-day problems and make life easier and more joyful for all of us. All right, be well.